A spider killer is all but confirmed officially, and it has been teased for many updates and times now. Welcome, my name is MintSkull, and this is a theory crafting video on the possibility of a spider killer in Dead by Daylight. So first of all, let's start with the evidence. This all started with Tome 8, Deliverance. When completing the missions, the player is rewarded with memory logs of the Observer. This Observer character, as his name states, visits places around the entity's world in order to see snippets of a character's thoughts, past, or even other worlds. Now what is interesting is that during this time, we got memory logs of a different world called Terra Arachna, and the story gets really interesting here. The memory logs are really long, so I will make a quick summary here, but if you are interested in reading everything, be sure to check out the description where I will link the page of the DBD Wiki so you can read everything. The memory logs show a radio broadcast in a place in America where mysterious spiders started appearing around the city and have started to attack people. These mysterious spiders have no scientific explanation. Not only that, but they attack generators at a power company, exploding them and leaving an entire sector of the city in the dark. On a second log, these spiders are described as having a spiral, bright orange markings on their back. As you might know, these colors are exactly the entity's colors too. The workers are trying to fix the generators in order to bring the power back, but the strange dark fog is slowing their repair progress. They also hear strange sounds coming from the fog, where these spiders come from. This same fog has appeared in all Survivor and Killer's lore moments before disappearing from their world. The rest of the archive is just still the story of a group of teenagers who end up being murdered by this spider attack around the city, and there are various phrases which confirm that these spiders come from another dimension, this dimension being the entity's realm. Now going back to the entity, we have always known that it was always inspired by spiders itself. Take a look at the spikes of the entity when a survivor is hooked, even having the hairs of a spider leg. The animation of survivors dying to the endgame collapse as well is very similar and spider-like. And how about the blood web being the main mechanic? Tome 9 expanded on this concept, telling the story of a scientist who researched a toxin that allowed them to kill the spiders and turn them into a puddle of black tar. The content of the toxin is not explained, but we could theorize that this toxin is made from the same compound as the Blight's serum. However, this is just pure speculation. In this memory log, it is also confirmed that these spiders come from another world as their DNA doesn't match any other DNA found in their Earth. So taking all of this, we can only assume that the entity, for some reason, decided to attack en masse an entire Earth with these spiders. Why? For what reason? Well, we're talking about the entity, so I cannot give you the answer as to why. But most importantly, there is a memory log in Tome 8 where a person gets infected with these spiders and says that they are a blessing, the truth, and that he will bring apocalypse on this world. Literally. Just take a look at this memory log and tell me that doesn't sound like the lore of some sick spider-infested killer. What is more interesting is that in both these tomes, we got two videos of the Observer traveling around the entity's domain and viewing two different spider killers in the game. So let's watch the first video. In this first vid, we can see someone who potentially could be Evan Macmillan or the Trapper, escaping from a massive spider who is then killed by a trap that he set up and decapitated with his pickaxe, exploding into many more little spiders. So we can only assume that this spider is dead. However, the second video is way more interesting. Take a look. So, if you noticed, the Observer says a rift opening with small spiders entering the realm, and later, a massive bipedal spider screams at him, similar to the Demogorgon. This vid is way more important than you think, and I will explain why soon. Now, my last evidence for this spider-like killer is the latest Tome charms. We're still on the first page as of this vid's making, but in the future, we will be getting more and more of a spider charm that twitches, meaning that it's alive. As of now, only the cocoon is unlockable. For that reason, I cannot turn the full spider to see if they have the spiral orange marking, but I will confirm it in the comments if I do get to see it. These spiders could be the same ones that appeared in this Terra Arachna. Also, since you're interested in this vid, I would greatly appreciate if you gave me a thumbs up if you like this type of content. I am still a very small channel, and your support, no matter how small, helps a lot. Thank you. I will also reply to every single comment, so please go wild. Anyways, onto the main points of this vid and their counter arguments. Why would the developers tease this killer before even releasing it? Well, this is the same thing that happened to the Blight, or previously known as the Alchemist. He was first teased in 2018 as a guy who injected serum to every killer in the game, and he was later released as a killer. The same thing could be happening to this spider entity. The developers could be hyping it up, or just putting it as an example. Currently, since the Blight has been released, there are no other killers who have a deep connection to the entity. The spider killer could bring a ton of lore and explanation as to what the entity is. What's more, this could be the first entity-inspired killer in the game, a creation from inside the fog. So lore-wise, this killer could be so interesting. I always wanted more monstrous killers in the game too. So this is a win-win in my book. The developers will not rig a spider skeleton because it's too expensive. And yes, this is true. My code has confirmed in the past that we will most likely never get killers with different animation rigs from bipedal humans, as it will be too much work and too expensive. This is why the Demogorgon works, because even though he's an alien, he is still bipedal. However, this is why I stated that the second vid is important. If you have noticed, the spider creature was bipedal, meaning that it could fit in the game perfectly. The developers will never add a spider killer because of the phobia of spiders. And I would have to counter the argument. Just show me actual evidence of developers saying this. Before the clown's release, there was a lot of talk that they will never add a clown killer in the game due to the people with coulrophobia, which is the fear of clowns. However, like I said, I only saw people from the community talking about this, and I have searched tons of developer streams and I just cannot find it. However, the existence of clown already disproves this argument. Now comes the question, when will this killer be released? And honestly, this part is just pure speculation by my part, but I think we will get this killer around September. Why? Well, we know who the next chapter is going to be, in March. The next chapter after that will probably be a licensed one, as in June we will have DBD's anniversary and a new year start, and as per tradition, they always have a licensed chapter ready. However, after this date, they could definitely add their own original chapter introducing this spider killer, and this will completely mimic how the Blight was introduced in the game, as he was added the 8th of September 2020 after the licensed character. Let's see if my predictions are right. Anyways, what do you think of this theory? And most importantly, what do you think this killer is going to do power-wise? Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you like this vid, consider subscribing for more. I made it easy for you. Just click my icon on the right. Thank you.